Hello students, we're going to be beginning assignment 6 and 7, and for this assignment what I'm going to ask you to do is draw a window in your house and then imagine that there is a fantasy scene taking place outside of your window. I was sitting next to my window during the quarantine and I just started daydreaming just different fantasy images that were coming to my mind when I was looking out the window. Because we're trapped inside, we can't really go out. And I thought, hey, this would be a fun art assignment for us. So for assignment 6, which is this week, we'll just be drawing the window frame in our house. And then assignment 7, which is due in 2 weeks, you will create a fantasy drawing of whatever you like that you imagine seeing outside of your window. So the first thing I need you to do is if you have a ruler, make sure that you take that out. You're also going to need a pencil and paper. Remember that notebook or lined paper is totally fine. If you don't have a ruler, don't worry. Just take a plain paper, whatever it is, notebook paper or white paper, and I want you to fold it in half and then fold it in half again. And we will use this like a ruler. We don't need the measurements that a regular ruler would have. All we need is a firm straight line. By folding the paper several times, it makes it thick and easy to trace. After you have your materials, I want you to walk around your house and find a window that you can comfortably sit in front to draw. I'm just choosing the one that's in my kitchen where I do a lot of my work, and you can see the window is there. Pretty plain window. I'll be working with that window today. So go find a window now. So once you find a window, then all you need to do is simply draw a rectangle inside of whatever paper you're using. I have mine here on the wall so that you can see me draw it. What I suggest is taking your ruler and comparing it to the edge of your paper. If you have your ruler to compare to, it's more likely that you will not draw a crooked line. So for example, you can see this is not straight because there's more space here and less space here. So you want to straighten it out, compare to the edge of the paper, and just get as close as you can to creating a straight line that's not diagonal. Now this can be challenging. It's okay if your line is a little bit crooked. Go ahead and create a rectangle all around the paper now. So I drew a rectangle with the basic shape of my window. All windows have multiple framing around them, and the extra frames around your window help protect water from seeping in and cold air. So we're going to simply just draw another rectangle inside of here. Again, put your ruler on the inside, close to the line, and compare the top of the line to the bottom line and see, is your ruler straight or is it crooked? And you want to kind of straighten it out. What you don't want to do is this, cover up the edge and try to draw a line, because then you have nothing to compare to see if your line is straight. So I'm just going to simply place this here, make sure it's straight, and then draw a line. I'd like you now to complete the frame by going all the way around. Okay, boys and girls, so I've created a frame around my window now, and my window is divided into two parts, so I'm going to just kind of estimate where the center of my window is here. Some of you that are using rulers, you certainly can measure the top and bottom and find the midway point. That's fine, but again, if you're worried about time, just make a quick guess. Now let's say I draw this and I accidentally make for a crooked line. So you can see my line is quite crooked. It's not really straight. I say before you erase the mistake, try to draw the straight line. So here I go. I'm going to put my ruler like this, comparing the edge here to the edge here. Does it look straight? I might tilt that. And then I draw the correct line. And then I can see, wow, that really was quite off. And then I go and erase my mistake. And again, I really want to emphasize a little bit of diagonal line is totally fine. That's normal. We're humans. If it's really dramatically diagonal, then yes, you want to correct it. So go ahead and divide it in half. And then you're going to be drawing an extra frame on the inside of the window now. boys and girls, so you can see that I've divided my window into two parts, and each part has its own frame. So notice how there's the frame of the window, the whole window, and then each section, the top and bottom, have its own frame. I also want to really just emphasize that everybody's got different windows at home. This might not look anything like your window at home. You can choose to kind of do your own thing, copying the window that's in front of you at home, which is what I recommend because it'll make your picture look more unique. But if you really feel like it's too challenging, you can certainly copy the window that I've created. Now that it's divided into two parts, I want you to look and see if there are any unique details that you want to add to this. So the two things that I've decided I want to add is the little handle on the bottom that helps you pull the window up, and also the lock on the top that allow you to open and close the window. So I'm going to go ahead and add that now. Boys and girls, so you can see that I have added the little lock for what opens my window, and also the handle here that allows me to open and close my window. Some windows are 3D. They kind of have a little hole, like a little area, like a window ledge, a window sill. You can see if you look at my window, there's this three-dimensional area here where I can place a vase, or maybe I cool off a pie near the window. And I'm going to show you how to make that 3D shape if you have a window like that. Some windows in your house aren't going to be like that. Maybe they're just flat against the wall. So I'll show you now. To make this window 3D, it's actually very, very easy. All I'm going to do is take my ruler, go to the corner of each corner of my rectangle, and draw a diagonal line out. I'll try to make them similar angles. You can see there's one here, I've created one here, and then on the top. Trying to make them the same angle and length. Now all I'm going to do is simply connect them. So kind of touch both sides, and I have one part here, and I'll go around and complete it. I have my 3D frame. I've noticed that there's this one part that's a little bit crooked, and this sometimes will happen. Again, it's really hard to make a straight line with this. I just really want to emphasize that what I need to do is actually hold my ruler like this, compare it to the bottom, making sure both are equal distance, and drawing another line, and I can see, whoa, I'm actually really off there. So I need to just fix that. I always like to make the correct line first and then go in and erase the mistake. Okay, so now I'll go in and I'll erase my mistake, and I have a frame that looks a lot more realistic and 3D. The final thing I'm going to ask you to do is look at your window and see if there's any details on the outside of the window. So for my window, I have that little vase there. Some of you might have curtains or even a window blind. Whatever you pick, make sure it doesn't cover a lot of your window, because you're going to create a fantasy world outside of here. So my vase only covers a little part of my window. If you have curtains, make sure they're open so you just see them on the sides, okay? So if I look at my vase, I see my vase is kind of a half circle and a curve like this, and it's sitting on that 3D section that I've created, okay? And then all I'm gonna do is erase the inside of the vase. Boys and girls, so we should be finished here, and what you should have is a full window with a lot of empty space in the center. I want to emphasize, lines can be crooked, it doesn't have to be perfect, I just want you to do your best. When you're complete with this blank window, I'd like you to upload it onto Google Classroom so I can check your progress. I'd also like you to check out the links that I've posted about Studio Ghibli, which is an amazing, amazing animation studio in Japan. They've made films that have won Academy Awards, and why I want you to look at it is the artists that work in that studio have such incredible imaginations and create beautiful fantasy worlds. So please take the next week, just watch some of the videos that I've posted coming out of the studio, and that'll help get your creative juices flowing. So when you return to this picture next week to create your fantasy world, you'll have some ideas.